Rogue Waters is a pirate-themed, turn-based tactical roguelite by Ice Code Games, in which you do a lot of sword fighting. If I were to describe the genre features of this game in one word, it would be standard. You have the classic roguelite branching map of encounters, a tree of permanent upgrades, and a light narrative that justifies it all. The most notable part of Rogue Waters is its combat, which is incredibly fun. Each unit can move and attack once per turn, but attacking will also push back the enemy unit and advance yours forward. Any obstacles a unit hits while being pushed back will deal extra damage, but if possible, they will slide past the obstacle, meaning the battle lines are constantly in flux. Different classes have different abilities, and you can also call upon sea monsters like the Kraken to attack your enemies in exchange for some magic points. It's a very simple system, but the basics make for an addictive loop which evolves with upgrades and is enhanced by plenty of enemy unit variety and increasing difficulty options. Before each combat encounter, you take part in 3 turns of ship-to-ship cannon fire, which allows you to kill enemy units before a battle, remove buffs from their units by destroying structures on their ship, and protect your own cannons from destruction. In the beginning, this is extremely difficult to win outright, and mostly involves trade-offs. Do you want to protect the life of a crewmate so they'll be available for the battle, or remove the enemy's armor bonus? As you gain more upgrades, the trade-offs gradually disappear, and it becomes easier to win outright, which is necessary for higher difficulties, but also removes some of the uniqueness of the system. My criticisms of the game mainly boil down to optimal play being a bit too simple. Cannons are extremely useful, so on the map, you basically always want to aim for nodes with cannons until you have a strong lineup. This sidelines the equipment system almost entirely, because it's more reliably powerful to get cannons than armor or buffs for a single unit. The game unlocks classes over the first few main missions, and once you have them all, it becomes apparent that it's actually best to pick a class you like and stick to it, because the permanently unlockable structures only provide buffs to a single class at a time. The classes themselves are sufficiently varied, from the Cook, whose attacks don't push back enemies but also deal damage to armor, to the Spear Maiden, who does less damage but can hit 2 enemies in a line, but they provide less variety than they could because it's in some ways better not to use all of them. On top of that, the upgrade trees aren't as interesting as they could be. Some upgrades are undeniably more powerful than others, and some are especially weak. That said, the game's available strategies are varied enough to support its 12-ish hour runtime, and I enjoyed my time with it, even if I did always end up doing roughly the same thing. It's just a fun combat loop. The story isn't that great, and the ending literally contains the words, "really pulling this out of your ass," but it's decently written and contributes the appropriate supernatural pirate flavor. Overall, Rogue Waters is a rather standard roguelite, but at least it's a good one. It's unlikely to convert any genre haters, but if you like turn-based tactics roguelikes, this is worth a dozen hours of your time. Rogue Waters is out now on PC for $29.99.